concluded our first week camping in our 2021 Cougar 29 BHS. Its weights. Just going to talk through some of the things we like, don't like initially, and go from there. On the outside, it's got the full pass-through basement, slam latches, all that good stuff. That's a clean hose. Has auto leveling controls over here, and it's the solar prep package. Still needs inverter panels, all that stuff if we want to do it. It's basically just plugged for it. It does have the Z-amp connection, so we can run a single panel into it. A hot water heater here. One of the things that's don't like, it has two grays. Has a gray water here under the galley, and then a gray and black in the rear bath. Not bad, not great. It's just one extra hose to deal with, and then coordinating the two of those. It's the first camper I've had that has that, so we'll see how that continues. 50 amp plug back here. It is a removable plug, so you do carry it stored. It's not stored within the vehicle, any pulleys or anything like that, but it has worked. On the back, I put this little toolbox here for all the gross hose apparatus. Drilled some holes in the back of it and the bottom of it, and put some hose clamps to hold it on the bumper. It survived a few hundred miles so far. This is the rear access to the storage area. We'll talk about that one on the inside. It has the aluminum steps on the back, and then the step above steps on the front door. The outdoor kitchen, surprisingly useful. We didn't use the grill yet, but having the shower right there, has a little rinse off hand wash station, having the fridge here. It doesn't have any lights in here, so I'm gonna get some of the LED strip lights and put some lighting in there to make that more fun. That's just your standard RV lock and latch on here. Trail King tires. It does have an equalizer. It's not one of the high-end ones, but it's there. Let's see here. King bed on the front. It does have the window. The blackout shade works pretty well for that. It has a vent. It is pre-wired for second AC. We don't have that right now. It does have a TV mount. These tension windows are a joke. If you look here, they have these they're screwed in the walls, and you adjust the tension off that. Out of the 4 of them, I think in here, 2 of them have already failed. I used command strips to replace those on here to hold tension on it, so it will stay up and stay down. Underbed storage is pretty decent. One of the things I do like is the pantry. It's got lots of room. We got some totes from IKEA, which fit it really well. However, one of the things I don't like is the hot water heater is behind here. When we first got this little flimsy sheet here was sticking out. It wasn't supporting this, so this actually broke. So I have some wood in there supporting it until I can get it rebuilt. I did pull it out and put these handles on. I tried to use some magnets to hold it in, but it just was too warped to hold it. So back behind here is, let me pull these out, is the hot water heater and the bypass. So why they didn't build an actual access panel, which is what I've made, I don't know. So you can get to the bypass, but that's where that is. It's pretty easy to do. Like I said, this broke already because this piece of trim wasn't able to support it. All right, the rest of the interior, it's pretty nice. Dinette's comfy enough. It is kind of a pain to get to the underseat storage with this cushions. They don't fit super well to get in there. I'd love to at some point in time put a door on there. Chairs are nice, comfy. However, the controls for the vibration, the heat, and the light are super sensitive. So you can just put your coffee mug in there and turn one or the other on. 12-volt fridge, has a lot of room, did a good job staying cool. We ran connected the entire time, so I don't have any battery life numbers for you. Kids like the bunk beds. Our two youngest slept up here. Our oldest slept down here, and she was able to have her own little cave in there. And then underneath, we got those little totes from IKEA, and each one of them had one of those to store their clothing. They just slid them under the bed. Bathroom. Now, everything's great in here until it's dark. And when it's dark, you're backlit. And when you're backlit, that window shows everything that's going on in here. So we're going to build a curtain and put some Velcro so we can put a Velcro curtain over that for nighttime. We just hung a towel in behind here and let that hang down over the window, and that worked pretty well. Other things we liked, has a dimmer switch on these lights here. So that's separate lighting from your interior light. You control that. The kids have their own lights in the bunks. And then there's separate lighting in the front. There's also a vent here, and just your basic bathroom vent with little mini useless RV fan. I'm thinking of putting a max air fan up there. We're going to be going to Yellowstone this summer and boondocking, so having something that has low draw and good airflow I think would be nice. But yeah, that's our Cougar 29 BHS after a week living in it. Some things we like, some things we don't like, areas for improvement. Oh, one other thing. These drawers are pretty small, so like we couldn't fit a utensil drawer in there, so we put that over here. So we're still figuring out where to put everything. You know, it's typical RV build. You know, built for weight savings, built to a cost. It does have the USB and 110 up there. On that side, it's inverter prepped. On the other side, it is not. These are kind of small, but they didn't put no struts, nothing to hold them up, so they just fall. Nice exposed screws. And if we do wire for a second, you see it has a temperature monitor in this room, like it has over here for this zone. So in all, pretty happy with it. It tows well. We're using the Anderson weight distribution hitch with it, which is nice. It wiggles a little more than my old camper. I don't know if that's because of the hitch or because of the camper or both. So yeah, that's where we're at. We'll talk about the hitch in just a second. So this is the Anderson weight distribution hitch. Has the polyurethane or some sort of spring material. I guess it's the same ones they use in heavy industrial equipment. Next we use these chains, that little yoke, which hooks to the back of the truck. It seems to work pretty well. Like I said, weighted a couple times, and it's within 100 pounds on the front axle of my Husky centerline hitch that I had on the old trailer, and it's pretty nice. The system does have in command. It's pretty nice. It's nice to be able to control it from my phone. So, and also from my bed, you know, our last night there, I was like, oh, I forgot to put the awning in. So I just grabbed my phone and pulled the awning in. So it has all your controls. Obviously, there's no front AC. Just have it on fan mode right now, just to circulate air through it. You can change it to cool, auto, and set schedules. Turn it to off. Turn all your lights on, off from here. Sliding awning in and out, and then various different settings. The nice thing is that if it is off, you don't have to. Usually pops up to the passcode. You can turn on your lights, your water heater, and your water pump all from here without having to turn on the passcode or type in the passcode, which is nice. The one thing it doesn't control the auto leveling. You have to do that from the front cabinet or front basement. But all in all, pretty happy with it. I want to talk through the ground control TT auto leveling on the Cougar. We got the jacks in the back. jacks in the front. As you can see, it'll lift the tires completely off the ground. There is air between those tires and the ground. As you can tell, this is a pretty unlevel site. Our Jellystone and Mammoth Cave, Kentucky, or Mammoth City, Cave City, Kentucky. Had to put several blocks under it so it didn't stroke out, because it was already, first time we tried to level it was out of stroke, so put the blocks in to give it more stroke. It's definitely more stable than our old Puma, which just had the manual stabs. Still can feel movement in there. I'm hoping that when we get it on a more level site and can better chalk the wheels, it'll be a little bit even more stable then, as opposed to having them up in the air and just having those 2 points of contact on this side and 2 on the other. It does raise the tongue jack all the way off the ground as part of its stabilization process. So yeah, I mean, it took 5 minutes for us to get this done. Our neighbors, they got in before us, and they're still working on their site well over an hour after we got set up. Trying to get everything set up. I think they have 6 blocks onto their parkside tires. Obviously we didn't need blocks, we just needed to get enough lift to not stroke out the wheel or the rear jacks.